Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulunding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gash, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gash Group also provides the best security company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
Sophie Milk ñu ngi fété juróom benn ati cafka bu dul dañ ñoo leen indil Jalika full cream milk powder neex saf sàpp te bari cafka pour di leen jërëjëfati si ni ngeen defee Sophie Milk seen favorite milk brand léegi mun ngeen a jëfandikoo empty Jalika milk sachets wala carton pour gagner ay xéewal yu riche pour gagner motorbike dajaleel fukk ak juróomi empty carton yi Jalika milk pour gagner yeneen xéewal yu mel ni PlayStation 4 TV fridge freezer, gas cooker, bicycle wala mobile phone. dajaleel fukk ak juróomi empty Jalika milk sachets def leen si biir enveloppe binda si sa tur ak sa téléphone number. mun ngeen ko yóbbu si bépp Jalika milk agent bu leen gën a jege. pour xam bi si raful yi dem leen Jalika milk Facebook page. Jalika milk mooy meew bu ees bu leen so fi indil gën a neex saf sàpp te riche.
TAF Africa Global is the first and biggest private estate developer in the Gambia and present in 7 other African countries. We take pride in leading innovation in all spheres of real estate sector in the Gambia and beyond. As such, we are launching the development of the first smart and modern office and retail towers in the Gambia called TAF Twins. The TAF Twins is located in the heart of the Kanifing institutional area and 10 minutes drive away from Banjul. TAF Twins is designed to have 5 floors of office spaces ranging from 50 square meters to over 1,000 square meters with 2 elevators, central air conditioning, 24 hours electricity and water supply, with the ground floor reserved for banking, supermarket, restaurant and coffee shop. For your bookings and reservations, please call now on 376-2333 or 776-2333. Thank you.
It's a warm reception to our studios here in Serekunda. This is Star TV News and I am Jacqueline Colley. In the headlines tonight, Gambia, our homeland, unveils Tamsir Jasseh as flag bearer. Network of journalists on disaster risk reduction launched. Mysterious fire destroys Golden Lead fish mill factory pipes. On the international scene, Africa's COVID threat hits new level as Delta variant spreads. Trump Organization CFO plead not guilty to tax fraud scheme. Wildfire destroys 90% of evacuated town in Canada. Those were the headlines and now the news in detail. Former Immigration Chief Tamsir Jasseh was on Thursday introduced as presidential candidate under the banner Gambia, Our Homeland. Our Sani has more.
Members of the Gambia, Our Homeland congregated at the Paradise Suites Hotel as it highlighted its goals to the electorate. Addressing the gathering, Mr. Tamsir Jasseh said his incarceration at Mile 2 in 2006, visit to Mecca, and experience as a veteran of the First Gulf War emboldened him to make a commitment to the Gambia.
I fought corruption and called out oppression when I saw it. Yet unfortunately, my vision of justice and equality was not received well by my previous government. Hence, in March of 2006, I was arrested for an alleged involvement in the 2006 coup attempt that was led by Colonel Nurcham. It was because of these allegations I was subsequently tried and convicted by a corrupt court with cohorted confessions that was secured by means of torture. I was then sentenced to 20 years with hard labor.
The one-time police advisor added that entering prison through a corrupt government was not encouraging. According to Mr. Jasseh, his imprisonment has though served as a lubricant for his frustration on some issues of national dimension.
Yet I now understand that Almighty Allah had a plan for me. You know, a man who keeps his head down will only see mud. Yet when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a plan for your life, you can only look down, but not for too long. And strangely enough, even in your darkest hour, you just may find yourself looking up. There in my darkest hour, Allah began to breathe a vision of light. There I was, broken in body and tortured in spirit. Allah breathed upon me the spirit of hope, but not just for me. There in prison, I began to envision a day of freedom and equality for the oppressed, a day that diminishes corruption, that recognizes our ancestors and respects our culture. The dawn of that day is today.
He pointed out that he pledged his allegiance to the elders, youth, children and women of the Gambia, but his pledge seemed powerless to invoke change whilst in prisons. According to him, the Gambian people are at the heart of the agenda of the Gambia, our homeland, saying he is honored to represent the desire of his people. The Gambia, our homeland's leader, said the country has reached a point of history where there is a need for the citizenry to pause, to think and build a country. He said hopes were lifted in 2016, but that the change made was like putting an old wine in a new bottle. He added,
"We were under the impression that our opportunity to do so began in 2016. That was when hopes were lifted and the people had a real thirst for change. A day when the Gambians casted their votes for a new government, a new way of life and a new system. We were led to believe that a fighter jet of progress was soon to take off from the airport. Unfortunately, instead of taking off, the fighter jet simply circled the runway and came back to the airport. And sadly, the only thing that changed was the occupant of our State House. It is the same poor and corrupt leadership. It is just wearing a new face from Yahya Jammeh to Adama Barrow. The fact is, not only has the current occupant failed us in producing his promises, many of our major areas of concern have actually gotten worse. If we look at the crime reports of 2016 to date, horrific news of murders, burglaries, armed robberies, assaults, drug trafficking, and so on is the order of the day. My fellow Gambians, the sobering reality is we as a nation are faced with a horrific way of life. Yet the current occupants of our government has done absolutely nothing to change our condition. Right now, as we speak, the NPP of President Barrow's political party has not only more vehicles, but better and safer vehicles than the Gambia Police Force.
Reporting for Star TV News, I am Awasane.
The Gambia chapter of the Network of Journalists on Disaster Risk Reduction was this morning launched at the Nana Conference Hall in Bakau. More on this report. The network comprises of Gambian journalists specializing or those excited about specializing on disaster reporting. It's affiliated to the National Disaster Management Agency, ECOWAS, AU and UNDRR on the implementation of African Union Roadmap on implementing the Sendai Framework on Disaster Risk Reduction 2015-2030. The communications officer of the Network of Journalists on Disaster Risk Reduction, Jandaba Sonko, disclosed that the network was founded by a group of journalists And the raison d'etre is to change the narrative of disaster reporting in the country.
Before we decided that we are coming with this network, disasters were reported only when they occur and not using that disaster risk reduction dimension. And particularly, as a network, we are also trying to help our partners in implementing the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction 2015-2030. So this is the main reason why we decided to come up with this network. Changing the narrative is the main idea. And obviously, we conducted a research that is backing the reason why we need to have this network in Gambia, but I'll get into that shortly.
She stated that the Gambia chapter is conscious of the need for journalists with passion in disaster reporting to join forces with development partners for sustainable dissemination of information concerning disaster risk reduction in the Gambia. Ms. Sonko highlighted the challenges faced by journalists in reporting on disasters.
So now we go into challenges of reporting disaster generally. These are things that all of us face when we report disasters. So you can see that disaster risk reduction reporting is new to Gambian journalists and there's need to build their capacity. I already talked about this. A lot of Gambian journalists just report when flooding happens in KMC. They would go there and report it. But do they take a look at the disaster risk reduction aspect? I don't think so, according to the research that we've done. So these are one of the challenges. And again, journalists need protective gears while reporting on disaster. These are not available. Most of us just go into the field and report the way we are. And as journalists, I think it is important that we are protected, our physique, to be able to continue reporting. Access to information to establish facts.
The Executive Director of the National Disaster Management Agency, Mr. Sana Dahaba, described the launch of the network as a milestone in terms of its outreach potential to the most vulnerable.
This association marks a big milestone for us as a country and the agency in particular, because not only we are mandated to coordinate and manage all forms of disaster, having a mutually beneficial relationship with the network will help us reach our target of infiltrating hard-to-reach communities who are one of the most vulnerable groups during disaster situation.
He added that his agency's partnership with the network is recognized. Mr. Dahaba urged members to always show commitment to the initiative and express NDMA's willingness to always support the network for the realization of their objectives. Meanwhile, the network of journalists on disaster risk reduction aims to educate and inform the public on disaster and disaster risk reduction in the Gambia. Jacqueline Coley reporting for Star TV News.
The fire and rescue services on Thursday responded to a distress call in Gunjur, where several pipes belonging to Golden Lead Fish Mill Factory were burned. More in this report by Awsani.
The fire reportedly started at the factory's backyard and quickly spread to the pipes few meters away. The exact cause of the fire could not be immediately established, but eyewitnesses said it started from a nearby landfill. Several people in the area scurried to the scene as smoke billowed, and frantic efforts were able to put it under minimal control until the arrival of an ambulance from the Banjul International Airport, sources said. Some locals suspected foul play, but Golden Lead is yet to publicly react to the incident. The company is reportedly assessing the extent of the damage on its pipes. The community of Gunjur and Golden Lead are meantime locked in yet another legal conundrum. This latest legal quagmire that the community and the fish meal factory are currently bogged in followed the 2017-2018 trial of some Gunjur youth on charges of vandalizing Golden Lead's pipes. The community has filed an injunction against the factory, and the matter is expected to resume at the High Court in October. The injunction seeks a halt to Golden Lead's expansion plan. The women vegetable gardeners in Gunjur were up in arms against Golden Lead after it reportedly attempted to expand its operation in the fishing community. The expansion drive will require more land, and these translate into encroachment on the vegetable gardens. The vegetable growers fear devastations to livelihoods if Golden Lead is allowed to expand. Lawyers for Gunjur and Golden Lead will return to the High Court on October 28 for the continuation of the proceedings in the substantive process that Golden Lead was served. Meanwhile, Golden Lead is said to be still counting the cause of the Thursday fire. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Awasane.
Those were the local stories. The internationals coming up soon after the short break. Stay tuned.
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulunding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gosh, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gosh Group also provides the best security company, Gosh Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gosh Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gosh on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gosh Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.goshglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh.
Sophie Milk ñu ngi fété juróom benn ati cafka bu dut dañ ñoo leen indil Jalika full cream milk powder neex saf sàpp te bari cafka pour di leen jërëjëfati si ni ngeen defee Sophie Milk seen favorite milk brand léegi mun ngeen a jëfandikoo empty Jalika milk sachets wala carton pour gagner ay xéewal yu riche pour gagner motorbike dajaleel fukk ak juróomi empty carton yi Jalika milk pour gagner yeneen xéewal yu mel ni PlayStation 4 TV fridge freezer, gas cooker, bicycle wala mobile phone. dajaleel fukk ak juróomi empty Jalika milk sachets def leen si biir enveloppe binda si sa tur ak sa téléphone number. mun ngeen ko yóbbu si bépp Jalika milk agent bu leen gën a jege. pour xam bi si raful yi dem leen Jalika milk Facebook page. Jalika milk mooy meew bu ees bu leen so fi indil gën a neex saf sàpp te riche.
TAF Africa Global is the first and biggest private estate developer in the Gambia and present in 7 other African countries. We take pride in leading innovation in all spheres of real estate sector in the Gambia and beyond. As such, we are launching the development of the first smart and modern office and retail towers in the Gambia called TAF Twins. The TAF Twins is located in the heart of the Kanifing institutional area and 10 minutes drive away from Banjul. TAF Twins is designed to have 5 floors of office spaces ranging from 50 square meters to over 1,000 square meters with 2 elevators, central air conditioning, 24 hours electricity and water supply, with the ground floor reserved for banking, supermarket, restaurant and coffee shop. For your bookings and reservations, please call now on 376-2333 or 776-2333. Thank you.
Welcome back, and now news beyond our borders. Africa's third wave of coronavirus infections is extremely aggressive and is pushing the continent to a whole new threat level, according to the World Health Organization. And the man in charge of securing doses for the continent has strongly criticized Europe, saying it has failed to deliver a single vaccine dose from the millions it promised. Al Jazeera's Victoria Kattenbai reports.
Marie, a 57-year-old mother of 5, has come to this clinic in Kinshasa to get her second jab of the AstraZeneca vaccine. The Democratic Republic of Congo is suffering from a third surge of coronavirus infections, as are many other parts of Africa.
It's good for us to protect ourselves as we are experiencing this third wave of COVID-19. It's important we receive this vaccine because in doing so, we'll also save others.
She's one of the lucky ones. Only 1% of people across the continent have been inoculated. While richer, vaccinated countries are reopening their economies, African hospitals are becoming overwhelmed, oxygen supplies are running low, and the virus is spreading to rural areas. The man in charge of securing doses for the continent has criticised Europe, saying it's failed to deliver a single vaccine from the millions it promised.
Not a single dose, not one vial, has left a European factory for Africa. Okay? When we've gone to talk to their manufacturers, they tell us that they are completely maxed out, meeting the needs of Europe.
5.5 million infections have been confirmed among the continent's 1.3 billion people. COVAX promised to deliver 700 million doses to Africa by December, but so far just 65 million have actually arrived.
Rich countries like the UK, like the G7, just are putting the profit of pharmaceutical companies above public health, but not pushing companies to share their technology so that others in developing countries can produce the vaccines. So we are under the mercy of pharmaceutical companies.
The head of the Africa Centres for Disease Control and Prevention says there's been a 23% increase in the number of COVID-related deaths in the past week, and warns unless the continent can secure a regular supply of vaccines, the consequences will be catastrophic. Victoria Gatenby, Al Jazeera.
Emergency officials in Western Canada are urgently trying to account for more than 1,000 people who were forced to flee a wildfire on Wednesday. It took just 15 minutes for flames to sweep through the village of Lytton, which has been at the center of an unprecedented heatwave. The mayor says 90% of the area has been destroyed. Al Jazeera's Laula Boden-Mali reports.
Almost an entire town destroyed by wildfire. Some of the 250 residents of Lytton in Western Canada had little warning to escape the flames. Many of their homes now reduced to cinders.
Where are we going to go?
This after temperatures in the area smashed records at almost 50 degrees.
I can tell you that at best it has been unnerving, and at worst it has been downright terrifying in British Columbia. We drove up here to Kamloops yesterday for our vacation and saw a plume of smoke so big coming from Lytton, all that distance from here in Kamloops. And my son said to me, "Is there a volcano erupting over there?"
This map from NASA shows the area where days of record temperatures have hit the entire northwest of the United States and Canada. The unusual weather is being linked to the so-called heat dome, where high-pressure zones trap hot air. Emergency crews have been taking to the sky as well as the ground to battle fast-spreading fires across Northern California. The flames once again forcing residents from their homes. This man in Lakehead expressed hope that he wouldn't have to leave.
Real concerned. The wind's coming up and the flames aren't too far away, so we got to pay attention.
Others wait out the fire at a high school that's serving as a Red Cross shelter.
It was cooling off and just getting to sleep really good when the sheriff came through right before first light and said everyone has to leave, so that's what we woke up to, and here we are.
It's not just the fires that are causing concern, as Western California and Canada is consumed by a drought which many have attributed to climate change. The heat wave has also taken hundreds of lives.
Estimates of the number of excess heat-related deaths in counties that cover just 62% of our population suggest that 5,500 Americans die every year from the heat. Certainly, the event we've seen, we're going to see excess deaths, a lot more than we should have.
Back across the border in Canada, the extreme temperatures have had a devastating impact. Hundreds of deaths in British Columbia have been linked to the heat wave. And volunteers are doing what they can to take care of the most vulnerable. Laura Boden-Mali, Al Jazeera.
And before we end the news, a recap of our main headline. Gambia, our homeland, unveils Tamsir Jasseh as flag bearer. Network of journalists on disaster risk reduction launched. Mysterious fire destroys Golden Lead fish mill factory pipes. On the international scene, Africa's COVID threat hits new level as Delta variant spreads. Trump Organization CFO plead not guilty to tax fraud scheme. Wildfire destroys 90% of evacuated town in Canada. That's all for this edition of the news. Join us tomorrow for more news. Stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs. Thanks for watching and bye for now.